Should you buy Vanguard? Well, I'm going to give me answer, then explain the reasons afterwards. Yeah, if you've got disposable income and you enjoy Modern Warfare, sure, it's worth buying. Now, I'm going to break all this down for you, so if you do enjoy the directness of my approach, make sure you hit that like button below and consider subscribing. So, what I want to get into is, well, let's start with my first impressions. When I first booted up the game, I thought, this is not the disaster we've been led to believe it would be. And I think that because the game looked beautiful, it ran absolutely fine. The gunplay straight away reminded me something more along the lines of Modern Warfare than Cold War, which, trust me, is amazingly refreshing. Now, I didn't play the beta. I don't really trust betas that much, to be honest. Now, obviously, the Battlefield one I had anyway, so obviously I gave that a go. But in terms of Vanguard, I wasn't really interested, so I didn't really play it. Because I was expecting it to be something more along the lines of Cold War, if I'm being honest. But Vanguard's actually good. I would go to far to say as it's good. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but I would definitely say it's good. If you enjoyed Modern Warfare multiplayer, you are going to really enjoy this. And that's because it feels more like that game than Cold War, as mentioned before. But yeah, it just feels like a full, complete game. Cold War came out with like a map, and just loads of promises. The campaign was okay. Zombies was the best part about it, but multiplayer felt broken, it felt incomplete, it felt underdeveloped, underfunded, and all in all, a bit rubbish. And I kept on saying that you can't use COVID as an excuse, because remember, this game was made during COVID, Vanguard, and it is infinitely better. Now, I feel as if pacing is spot on in this game. So a game where it's complete and the pacing is spot on is good. Now, what do I mean by pacing? I feel as if the majority of the maps flow well. There's one map that I really don't like in here, but as far as I'm concerned, the rest of them actually are either okay or good. And each map has different player sizes, which is really good. Now, Castle, the old World at War map, by the way, a really good map. That has a 12v12 playlist. So it's automatically 12v12. I'm going to click on a certain mode for it. And 12v12 works. Yeah, like, I never thought I'd see the day where 12v12 worked on Castle, but when you actually play it, you think, holy hell, this is the way this map was meant to be played. This is how this map should have been played from the beginning. So, yeah, really happy with that. And, you know, it's looking like a really, really good game. Now, the game, speaking of looking good, looks spot on. Now, I've got the game, admittedly, I have got the game set to max on an RTX 3070. Is that what I got now? Yep, on an RTX 3070 with, like, a really high-end Ryzen processor. So, you know, graphical fidelity is always going to be something that I have. 1440p, 140 frames. Hitting that, no problem. Max settings, I am running the quality DLSS as I'm on 2K. And the game looks spot on. The game looks really, really, really crisp. There isn't any of the ray tracing that I noticed, but to be fair, don't really need that in multiplayer in Warzone. So yeah, I'm actually really impressed with how that's looking. And as I mentioned before, the game is miles better than Cold War, like so good. Now, another example, a direct comparison, is the Gunsmith. So Gunsmith feels upgraded in Vanguard, and not just a tacked on copy and paste afterthought like it did in Cold War. It's been developed. It's, I would argue, even better than the Modern Warfare Gunsmith, which is really good because Gunsmith was the main selling point of Modern Warfare. It was really when you look into it, and the fact that it's been upgraded is so good, and this makes it worth it. Now, I'll break it down a little bit more for you. So, you get 10 attachments by default. Don't need any wild cards, any perks, anything like that. You get 10 attachments. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's just going to reduce the skill gap instead of picking the right attachments. Well, not really. I think the developers have kind of like realized that there's people like me that's going to tell you the best attachments to use. If you've only got 5, make sure you run this config or that config. Whereas with this, you can run whatever the hell you like. Like I say, it feels like a new integration of Gunsmith. It feels like an upgraded version of Gunsmith. And I actually think the 10 attachment system works well. Now, suppressors, for example, in every single Call of Duty game, you've needed an integrated suppressor barrel or a suppressor to mask your gunfire. Now, in this game, you can do that with a suppressor, as you typically do. Or you can put an ammo mod on there, the subsonic rounds. Now it's going to slightly harm your bullet velocity. However, it is going to keep you off the map. Now, you only need one or the other to actually get this feature to work properly. And it's good because it means you don't have to run a suppressor if you don't want to. If you need that recoil adjustment, if you need something else that the game gives you, run it. If you want to run a bayonet, run it. You can still be off the map with the ammo mod, and I think that's really good. There's various different ammo types and modifications that you can do in Vanguard, very similar to Modern Warfare with SOCOM rounds and the ASFL rounds, and the MP5 rounds, etc, etc. So that feature returns, and it feels natural. It feels good. The guns feel completely different depending on what barrel and ammo mod you've got on them. Sorry, not ammo mod, ammo type you've got on them. Yeah, so you get to choose both. You get an ammo type and an ammo mod, and you can mix and match these in any combination you like, and it's really, really, really refreshing and really good to see. Like, I wanted an advanced gunsmith. That's what I liked about Modern Warfare, and we've got that here, so that alone is worth it for me. So, yeah. Just bear that in mind. And also, you've got your gun perks return as well, and they come with proficiencies. Really good. I think there is going to be a standout in this section. A couple of standouts, but still, you've got options if you want to go for a certain kind of build with your weaponry, which we do like doing here on this channel. So yeah. Now these metas will be accepted in Warzone. Because, obviously, as you know, like what's happened with Verdansk, the Cold War weapons phased out the Modern Warfare ones. They weren't as advanced, but they just gave them better numbers in general, and made the Modern Warfare ones weaker. When this happens for Vanguard, which I'm sure it will, because I'm pretty sure Activision want to get rid of that tarnished brand that Cold War's given it, I'm going to be comfortable with these guns being the Warzone meta. I really am. Like I say, they've got a complex gunsmith, they've got complex gunplay, and they feel more realistic. Well, obviously as realistic as a COD game can be, but they don't feel extremely archaic like the Cold War ones did, and I think that's going to really shine. The advanced gunplay is there, the advanced gunsmith's there, and that's what people really fell in love with Warzone for in the first place. The different things you could do with the weapons, and obviously the map was a bit better as well. But this is kind of how I feel about this. I am more than comfortable for these weapons to be the Warzone meta, and I think it's good. And you know what it is? I'm going to actually enjoy ranking them up. I didn't really enjoy ranking up the Cold War guns, because the only really place I could do it was zombies. Now, zombies was one of the better features of Cold War, admittedly. However, I do feel as if if a new gun comes out, or there's a gun that I want to rank up, I can just rank it up in zombies. I can rank it up in multiplayer on Vanguard, and you know what it is? I'm really happy to do it that way. This is not a game that's going to be uninstalled after a month like Cold War was, and it's really, really, really refreshing. So what if you don't care about Warzone? Does this game offer enough as a standalone? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this game's come out with the most launch content it has in years. I think the last game that came out with this much content, a good 4 or 5 years ago, I reckon. Definitely. So remember, Modern Warfare didn't come out a complete game either. So the fact that this has upgraded certain aspects of it, fantastic, fantastic. Gameplay and flow just feels really good. Yeah, is it a honeymoon period? I don't think so, because a lot of people were expecting to really like this game. I wasn't. I was expecting to hate the guts of it. So to actually not only think, oh, it's alright, but actually this is good, to go from that much of a turnaround, just goes to show what they've done here, and I really dig it. Question will be, is it going to be a main game? I don't think so. I still think I'm going to be playing a lot of Apex, probably a lot of Warzone when the Pacific map comes out, Battlefield. I still think I'm going to be playing a lot more of those games as well, but I do think it is a solid competitor. I don't think it's going to be an outright, I don't think it's going to hold the title of the when we say COD killer, like in terms of multiplayer. I don't think it's going to hold that rank. To be fair, Cold War didn't either. But I do think it's going to stand its own. I do think it's going to hold its own ground. I do think it's going to be a really good game. So yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that. Zombies, in addition, is actually quite a good map as well. I do enjoy it. It's simple. It's different, very different. But different in some cases can be good, and it's good. It's fine. It's passable. If you enjoyed the Cold War Zombies, there's an extension of that. So yeah, it's decent. Now, there are a few negatives that I do want to talk about, of course. And they are that the end screens take far too long. Like, that's eating my creator class time. Like, be gone. You've also got the fact that you've got the typical Activision banter where the only guns that you can buy in the store just so happens to be the only guns that you can really use in multiplayer at the moment because of the most powerful ones. Weapon balance is a bit meh, but obviously this will likely be balanced and fixed because, you know, it was a bit meh when Modern Warfare came out. You know, if it came out with really good weapon balance, that would be a shock. So I know it'll get patched, so I'm not too bothered about weapon balance right now. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, if you do like the approach, we'll just tell you the answer outright and explain it afterwards. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But until then, I want to know what your opinions are in the comment section below. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.